And welcome back, everyone, to Pokemon Team videos today on the 27th of March. Not that I usually do the date. I usually do that for box office, but whatever. I'm in a mode. I'm in a mode right now. This one came to us, same character, giving me the same suggestion as the character. You'll know in just a second. Velvet Crowe asks, what is Velvet Crow's from... Oh, crap. What is the name of the series? From Tales of Berseria, the central protagonist in that game series, and there's apparently like a 2-episode anime thing or whatever. But Tales from Berseria, what is this character's Pokemon team? Now, I did a Hitmontop creation video for her a while back, and I did the best I could, with the little I had available with the character. This probably was a little easier because, worst case scenario, you can actually take components of the character as opposed to looking at the character as a whole. Components of the character and actually assign Pokemon to those components. Whereas with a Hitmontop, I can't just take what a character is capable of doing. In Naruto's case, I can't take the Rasengan, Shadow Clones, all that, and compile it into a Hitmontop that works like that. I can't do that. So, but with the Pokemon team, I can be a bit more, I have a lot more flexibility. That being said, it's still not the easiest team for me to make, but let's get into it. So, right out the gate, I realized her personality was really kind of difficult to really assign a Pokemon team to, because she is a very typical, hey, I'm out for revenge, all this kind of character. But I have a good heart, and ultimately I come around and I'm able to find balance in my life. So, doesn't really work that way, unfortunately. And I am actually looking at this right now, wondering, did I miss a Pokemon on this team? 1, 2, 3. Okay, no, everything's good. So, one of the things, though, I immediately learned is that in terms of her fighting style, she relies very heavily on kicks and kick combinations. Well, okay, I can work with that. First on the team, made sense, Hitmontop. This is a Pokemon that, even though it can learn punching moves, it has 3, technically it has a tail, it doesn't have 3 legs, but its tail acts as a 3rd leg. So it's a Pokemon that relies heavily on kicks. Likewise, if we're going to include a Hitmontop, we might as well include a Hitmonlee as well, because this is the kick-based Pokemon, obviously. So these two made 100% sense to have on the team for a person whose fighting style relies heavily on kicking. But there was one other Pokemon that I'm like, okay, one more kick-based Pokemon. And then I looked at it, I'm like, I need some variety, because right now it's just solely fighting types. And I looked, and I knew, and I have a lot of Pokemon already on call in my folders, so I can just call upon the images if I need them, instead of just looking up, saving them, and then calling upon them. But I went with Blaziken. Now, Blaziken, I felt the reason I went with Blaziken is A, I wanted to be a little different. B, Blaziken is still a kicking Pokemon. It's still very much a kick-style fighting Pokemon. But there's an image that when you go to the Acelia wiki, which is where I went to, for Velvet Crowe, there's an image of her from, where is it now? From Tales of the Rays, Spirit Gear, that says Spirit Gear Attire, that basically seems to have her manipulating or jettisoning out flames. I'm not exactly sure what is actually happening in this image, because the description of this story does not really give me a good idea of what's going on. Now, I don't have the image here, unfortunately, but it does look like there's some sort of flames of some kind are involved. So I decided to incorporate that into the team, and being the OG firefighting starter, I mean, not necessarily the best, though. I do like Infernape more than I like Blaziken, and I like Blaziken. In terms of Gen 3, I've used all the starters. In fact, the only generation where I have never used all the starters, and probably won't, is most likely Gen 8, because I doubt I'll ever use Sobble in whenever I replace Sword or Shield. I have Shield. Gen 7, I'm not a fan of Incineroar's design. I just don't like. It had so much potential, and then just threw it to the curb. I kicked it to the curb. So yeah, and Gen 5. Oh no, sorry, Gen 5. I'm never using oh god, not Incineroar. What am I talking about here? Emboar. Never using Emboar. Hate that design. Absolutely. I don't even. And Pignite sucks too. Tepig was cute. I like Tepig, and then you screwed it up so hard. I hear it's pretty okay glass cannon Pokemon, but I just don't care about it design wise. And Empoleon. I do not like Empoleon. I do not like the Piplup line. Never have. So there's only been 4 Pokemon who I've never used ever. Period as a starter. As for Gen 9 we're getting here, just based on appearances so far, I'd used all 3 of them. Right now I'm leaning towards Fuecoco, but Sprigatito at least looks nice. But that said, Blaziken I think does work in this. That's it. Sidetracking, getting back on the main road of life here. I think Blaziken works well. Now the rest of these Pokemon do not go with her necessarily abilities, except for one. They are more tailored a bit to her personality. And that was a difficult thing to kind of do, because her personality is very much angsty main protagonist who's had a shit life, but ultimately has a good heart. That is what her personality is. But she has a... What exactly would this be called exactly? Well, okay, if she has what's known as a Break Soul, and hers is called Consuming Claw. Apparently, it releases her demonic arm power up upon activating her Break Soul and begins slashing the right, slashing to the right. That said, her Consuming Claw. So the way that makes it sounds like it's some sort of it sounds like it's some sort of weapon, an artificial arm she may or may not have. And admittedly, she does have her left arm is wrapped up in cloth, which kind of like Hiei's, honestly. If you go with a Yu Yu Hakusho reference here, kind of like Hiei's in the sense that she keeps her arm bandaged up, I think, basically as a way to keep it contained. There we go. Finally, the image is popping up. And yeah, I mean, it looks generally like an arm, admittedly, but clearly it's wrapped up and contained for a reason. So I'm like, okay, something at least in concept that represents that. It represents a demon arm that she has to keep contained, Consuming Claw, and I ultimately went with Bisharp. Bisharp, just from an aesthetic appeal, goes with her wardrobe. A little white, a little red, a little black. There's no yellow on her, but you know what? Take that for what it is. But more importantly, he's basically a walking soldier. He's a walking bishop of blades that basically could be a sentient claw in many ways. And it's a dark steel type, which adds on to the demonic side of things. So I felt that was a nice little add-on to her team. And to finally add some diversity on the team, because right now she has 3 fighting types. Psychics would wreck her team if she had to go up against someone using a powerful psychic attack. So Psychic-type Pokemon would wreck her team, and Ghost-type Pokemon would be a severe problem as well. So having a Dark Steel type definitely helps out a lot. But then, but there's also the fact that she's still going for revenge, but ultimately it turns more into a sense of justice and trying to do the right thing. There's a childhood friend of hers who she still loves and cares for, but ultimately has justified that she's going to have to kill. So, and I was wondering which of these last two, which order I want to go in. I'm going to go with this one first. So, Caballian is one of the Swords of Justice, and he's the leader of the team. He is a steel fighting type, which again goes into the whole idea of a claw, but also is the leader of the team, and she is the leader of her little ragtag group. But also being a Sword of Justice means her need and want for revenge leans over and turns more into justice as time goes on. So I felt that was an appropriate Mon to have on the team. But last but not least, what was the last Mon? So bear with me on this one, but there is a reason for it. And this represents her kind of insatiable need and desire for revenge. Zangoose. Now, if anyone knows how Zangoose operates, you know where I'm kind of going with this. So Zangoose, generally speaking, Zangoose kind of have a warrior vibe to begin with, but they're generally like not vicious towards people or anything like that. They're generally pretty. I mean, they fight like any other Pokemon do, but they generally are peaceful in their own right. But if they see that one thing that in their DNA they hate with every ounce of their being, they see a Seviper, and Seviper likewise, just like she is out for that one person to take down, they will not stop and they will kill. They will fight to the death. And I think that actually goes really well with Velvet's motif, or with her mindset, at least early on in the original part of the series. But then by the end of it, she's kind of, chilled out a bit. She still wants to, justice for what happened to her, but it's more justice now than it is revenge. But yeah, so Hitmonlee, Blaziken, and Hitmontop for the fighting style she has, usually relying heavily on kicks. Bisharp to represent Kasumi Claw. And then you have Caballian to represent, and Zangoose to represent justice, but also the need for revenge and that snap mentality she has, like going for that one person. So yeah, that is Velvet Crow's Pokemon team, in my opinion. Now, this is just strictly my opinion, keep in mind. And she's just moving around there. Whee! If you feel differently, that's cool. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you do anything different, if anyone do anything different, that's cool. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Oh, now I remember one other reason I had Blaziken on here before we go. Her actual main attack does more damage to her than it does damage to her as she's going. She'll never go to below 1 HP, but the more damage she deals to herself, the more damage she deals to someone to the opponent. And the Pokemon, all three of the fighting types here, can learn close combat, which I felt was a solid representation of that. I knew there was one other thing I wanted to bring up. So yeah, there was that as well. Until then, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. I got the What If to Do Today in box office, which won't be till much later anyway. So keep your eyes up for that. Until then, thanks for watching. See you later.